Hey, how's it going? Hope everyone's doing good. It's gonna be another fast one, not gonna be too long, but yeah, we've been appearing a lot of places. But I hope you've been enjoying the regular podcast. Like if you just go on the live stream, you're not really getting the full picture. So definitely go check out the regular podcast because we talk about more big idea stuff there. This live stream is more topical stuff and shooting the shit and all that. But go to patreon.com/champagne sharks. You get the full champagne sharks experience. You get us to see us talk to guests, review books. You get to join the movie and book club and have discussions. And we're covering a book right now called The Image. And everyone who's been trying it so far has agreed that it's a great pick. It's a pretty good pick. So definitely check that out for real. And if you like what we do, like, comment, share, subscribe. Best thing that you can do. I hope you can hear me okay. Yeah, best thing that you can do for the show is do that. And also, there's different ways to support the show. Hit the super chat if you're enjoying the stream. If you like the value that we bring, if we make you laugh, if we give you good advice, if we help you view the world in a different way, or help you make meaning, out of the world. I think one thing that we're good at pattern recognition, we're good at making meaning, and we're good at synthesis, like taking a whole bunch of different viewpoints and different angles and synthesizing it to something coherent and deconstructing and putting things back together. And if you enjoy those services or what we do for you intellectually, then by all means hit that super chat. It's that dollar sign that's in the live chat section, or support us at PayPal at champagnesharks@gmail.com, or Venmo or Cash App at Champagne Sharks. And all that stuff is going to be scrolling by at the bottom. So at any point you want to support us in any of those ways, we definitely appreciate it. So yeah, I wanted to have fun with a little something today that came up inadvertently. Kobe Gaddafi in the chat was making fun of a guest we had that said that talked about the gayness of Captain America and Bucky, and I joked that, hey, they are coded as gay, and a lot of people, I didn't think it was that big a deal, but a lot of people kind of jumped on it, and it was actually one of our more controversial things that we talked about on the podcast. I found that was funny. And one thing so I titled this thing "Metaphorically Gay" because I think something that is I want to make clear is the people who say that Captain America and Bucky in the Marvel movies are not literally gay are right. They're not literally gay, as in, I'm not trying to say that the writers are trying to write a gay story. What I put it as is metaphorically gay. What I mean by that is, uh, there's an old term for this in Hollywood, and it's an old practice. It's called coding, gay coding. And what does a code mean? Like the literal definition of a code. If you look at the definition of a code is system a system of words, letters, figures, or other symbols substituted for other words, letters, etc., especially for the purposes of secrecy, or to convert the words or of a message into a particular code in order to convey a secret meaning. So the whole idea of it is that it's meant to be like a secret meaning, a double meaning, a metaphor. It's not meant to be literal. So, hey, chaotic goods, how's it going? Yeah. So basically, um, the people who say that there's absolutely nothing gay going on there are, in denial. But also the people who try to think that Marvel is really trying to make real gay characters, they're also delusional in their own way, because they're not literally gay. They're never going to pull that trigger at Marvel. It's literally like a code. That's why it's called you know gay coding. You know what I mean? Like it's meant to be that if you're someone, like, a code is no good if everyone can see the code. If everyone can see the code, then it doesn't work. You know. Um, yeah, it can't function. It can't function. The best type of code is the one that people don't even know is a code. If people know that it's a code, then they might even try to crack it. The best code is that it can hide in plain sight, and people speculate, is it even a code? Is it even a code at all? You know? So yeah. Hey, Etheorai, hey Justin, hey Chaotic Good. So I won't give an idea how old this thing is, because one thing you have to understand, right? And it's not just, there's a lot of different types of coding out there. Like, for example, Superman is the way he's created is coded Jewish. There's a lot of, like, it used to be like when you had a lot of people who were entering an industry or something, but it was still very oppressive, they would learn to do things in a coded way. Like, there's always been a lot of gay people in Hollywood, and they would write a lot through allegory or do a lot of gay coding. So it's like the gay people in the audience could receive the code, and it would pass over the straight audience's head. With Jewish people, they've used a lot of things that look waspy to covertly discuss gay issues metaphorically. So, for example, a good example of something that's very Jewish is Superman. It has elements of something out of Jewish mythology called the Golem. Um, One thing that recent people have tried to do, totally miss the point and don't get anything, is try to say Jesus is that Superman's a Christ-like figure. He's not a Christ-like figure. He's Jewish. He's a Golem, and he's Moses. Uh, Moses, his parents put him in a basket and put him in a river and sent him down the basket. And then another family from another race found him in the basket and raised him as their own. That's Superman. Superman is a Moses. He's he takes his people from a dying, dangerous world. The only difference is he's the only person to make it to the promised land. Yeah, but yeah. So it's but a lot of times they use a lot of gay coding a lot of Jewish coding or gay coding or different types of coding. It's a common way to discuss things that if you kind of discuss them honestly, they might not be as big a market for it, or it might be controversial. It might scare people off. Another good example of a very Jewish coded show is Mad Men. Mad Men is a very Jewish show, even though it pretends to be about wasps. You know, um, yeah. The Goyim have made Superman Christian because they think that it was made for them, but it really wasn't. It was made by two Jewish kids of immigrant descent, and so there's the immigration themes. There's a golem. There's a Moses, and there's been a lot of scholarship about this, and there've been interviews with them about this, etc. Yeah, yeah. So, hey, Void with 912, how's it going? Hey, Shotty, how you feeling? Yeah. So I want to give an example. There's a movie called Ben-Hur, and Ben-Hur is a perfect example of an early example of this. Ben-Hur is a whole gay subtext in it, right? Um, oh, unfortunately, this version is paywalled, but let's see. There was a very interesting. So Gore Vidal said, and there's been a lot of controversy about whether this is true or not, right? But he said that they secretly turned Ben-Hur into thwarted gay romance, and check this out. So, so basically, decades after the movie premiere, Ben-Hur screenwriter and all-around man of letters, Gore Vidal claimed that he inserted a gay romantic subtext into the scenes between Judah Ben-Hur and his childhood friend turned enemy, Masala, played by Stephen Boyd, without Heston's knowledge. Yeah, and Charlton Heston got mad about it and said that it wasn't true, but Gore Vidal said we just didn't tell Charlton Heston it was there, and this is what um, He said the relationship between Ben-Hur, a Jewish prince, and Messala, a Roman officer, is a thread that winds through all 3.5 hours of Wilder's film. After the lifelong friendship turns bitter, Judah is enslaved and rises up in Roman society, and is ultimately reunited with Messala in a deadly chariot race. According to the script and the Lew Wallace novel in which is based, Judah and Messala fall out because of political differences. But Vidal, one of several writers who worked on the film, said that Wilder was frustrated with the character's arc. Why would the childhood friends who had been on opposite sides of the political spectrum their whole lives suddenly have such a dramatic falling out? Vidal, an expert on ancient Rome, had an idea. I proposed the notion that the two had been adolescent lovers, and now Messala has returned from Rome wanting to revive the love affair, but Ben-Hur doesn't. Vidal, who died in 2012, said in the 1985 book, The Celluloid Closet, I told Wilder, this is what's going on underneath the scene. They seem to be talking about politics, but Messala is really trying to rekindle love affair. And then the documentary Celluloid Closet talks about, according to Vidal, Wilder, the director, cautiously agreed to the rewrite, but with one condition: don't say anything to Heston because Chuck will fall apart. They kept Heston in the dark, but told Boyd, the co-star, who embraced the romantic angle. So Stephen Boyd is acting it to pieces. Vidal said in the documentary, there are looks that he gives him that are just so clear, and Wilder never um, admitted to it, and Charlton Heston didn't know, and he got pissed about it. But I think we could play it here.
Well, you got very good at projecting subtext without saying a word about what you were doing. The best example I lived through was writing Ben-Hur. Ben-Hur and Messala, one Jewish, one Roman, had known each other in youth. They disagree over politics, and now they hate each other for the next 3 hours. Well, that isn't much to put a whole 3-hour movie on, even something as gorgeously junky as Ben-Hur. The director of the movie, William Wyler, said, what do you do? And I said, well, look, let me try something. Let's say that these two guys, when they were 15, 16, when they last saw each other, they had been lovers, and now they're meeting again, and the Roman wants to start it up. Messala, played by Stephen Boyd, wants to start it up again with Ben-Hur, played by Charlton Heston. Heaven knows why, but he does. Anyway, he's Roman. So Willie stared at me, face gray. And I said, well, I'll never use the word. There'll be nothing overt. But it'll be perfectly clear that Messala is in love with Ben-Hur. Willie said, Gore, this is Ben-Hur. A Tale of the Christ, I think, is the subtitle, he said, rather vaguely looking around. And Willie finally said, well, it's certainly better than what we've got. We'll try it.
After all these years, still close.
In every way. He said, you talked to anybody about this? And I said, no. He said, you talked to Boyd, Messala.
Boyd is a co-star.
Don't say anything to Heston because Chuck will fall apart. I'll take care of him. So Heston thinks he's doing Francis X. Bushman in a silent version. His head is always constantly on high like this and like this. And Stephen Boyd is acting it to pieces. There are looks that he gives him that are just so clear.
I said I'd come back.
So if you look, they're acting in two different movies, and Charlton Heston doesn't even realize it.
I'm so glad. Look at you. You've come back a tribute. When I heard that news, I drank a toast to you. I'll drink another now.
So it's a
Well, you got very.
so it's a funny story that goes around that the two of them were supposedly acting in two different movies. But I showed it to show like this is the old thing in Hollywood. They do this all the time, and sometimes not everybody's even on the same page about it. You know, they even hire different people on the staff, and I think this stuff is interesting to look into because it trains you to be savvy with media because they do all this stuff with they code all types of stuff. They code white supremacist things in movies. They code um all types of propaganda in movies, and deniability is meant to be a part of it. And you don't even need to have everybody on the staff in on something for it to even work. You know, yeah. So it's all pretty interesting stuff. Yeah. He wrote Caligula too. He was only one of the writers. There were several different writers, but one thing that's interesting is Ben-Hur a novel has none of this, and it's all a creation of the original movie. That's why they made a 2016 movie that a 2016 version of Ben-Hur, and a lot of people got mad that the gay stuff wasn't in it. You know, so this big article came out in Out magazine where they complained that they were straight washing Ben-Hur, and Out magazine said, "Why does a remake ignore the history of gay subtext, etc." And they got mad, and then the actual creator of the remake gave a surprising reason that a lot of people didn't realize. And he said, "We got the rights to the book. We didn't get the rights to the movie. The gay stuff is in the movie, not in the book. So if we were to put the gay stuff in there, we'd be accused of infringing on the movie. So we can't do it. So yeah. So it says here the surprising reason why 2016's Ben-Hur isn't gay, and they're explaining why the homosexual subtext is gone, and that's because says Warner Brothers own the old MGM library, so I can't do a remake of that because Warner Brothers owns that. We can't actually remake the movie. We can only adapt the book. I have to go back to the source material. So anything that's in the 59 version movie that's not in the book, I can't use. So they can't use any of the plot or subtext from the movie. Now, here is something that I want to point out. If you think I was, totally making it up and that these people aren't being tongue in cheek, because we're going to put it straight from the horse's mouth. Boom. The director of the thing says Captain America Civil War is a love story, says Joe Russo. This is the actual director of the director of both the Captain America Winter Soldier and this. So he goes, this is Empire. It says a war movie, an action thriller, a superpowered face off for the ages. However you've heard Captain America Civil War described, you probably only heard it called a love story in semi-jest, but that's exactly how director Joe Russo termed it when Empire caught up with him on set. He goes, well, what's fascinating about the Cap Bucky story as well is it's a love story, says the co-director. They go, stop your sniggering in the back. He's talking about the fraternal kind. These are two guys who grew up together, so they have the same emotional connection to each other as brothers would. Now, first off, who describes brothers as a love story? No one describes brothers as a love story. He's being coy. He's being cute. He's saying, oh, this is a love story between brothers, wink. Like nobody says that. He knows what he's saying. He's putting the denial right in there. So it's kind of funny. He's straight up, the director himself is using this coy language, but again, like I'm saying, it's not literal. I don't think that Steven Russo, the Russo brothers at all, want you to believe that anybody is really gay in the whole thing. you know. And if anything, when push came to shove, they backed away from it. And in the later movies, they barely even interact. Captain America and Bucky and all that. You know, it's they don't pull a trigger, and that's why so many of these gay fans get mad, because they know that they're being that all this coded stuff is in there to kind of give them a hidden meaning and make them squeal with delight and come to the movies. But these people have no intention of ever making it reality. So yeah, I agree that none of them are actually gay. I don't think they're ever going to pull the trigger on any of that stuff. It's all just a big pander, and at the same time, kind of like an fu. Like a lot of people get mad at it, but I mean, that's why they can never deny it too wholeheartedly, because if they deny it too wholeheartedly, they'll offend the gay fans. So if you ever notice, I'll give this example. This is from Chelsea lately, but check this out.
Please welcome Sebastian Stan. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's great. Your number one movie in America.
It's not Chris Evans, I gotta tell you.
Yeah,
It's not Chris Evans.
Yeah, I like Chris Evans.
I do too.
So do you. I can tell in the movie because you guys are very gay together.
Oh, we're going there right away, right out of the box. Okay.
You know it. You know it's a little gay, right?
Look, I mean, maybe it was a little Brokeback Mountain at times. I mean, I'll admit it. There's a little I won't quit you, but everybody cares about each other. What can I say?
That's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's beautiful to see two men getting along like that.
Yeah. Sure thing.
So
Yeah, but he can't outright deny it, but he even says it, so it's funny. Yeah, yeah. So they put the clickbait out there. They cop to it. I mean, it's an open secret. It's a joke. You know what I mean? But I just found that funny that so many people got offended by me saying it. Like a lot of people were surprised, they got really mad. People like, you're going the Tumblr route. I feel the Tumblr route is when you actually believe that the story is being literal and that they're literally being gay. That's where I think the Tumblr people go too far. Then they get mad that Avengers Endgame doesn't end with the two of them getting married and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, you're a sucker if you actually believe they really cared about you that much. This was just a cheap pander to get you going. But yeah. So this is the final scene. I always found this funny, that I always feel like they put this scene to kind of reassure people. I think the more and more people kept talking about it, because it's not a good code if people talk about it too much. I think too many people are talking about it, so they started increasingly trying to put things to say, don't worry, guys. For you straight guys, there's nothing gay going on here. I always find this funny. This is the most least chemistry kiss, but also this was the most unearned first forced thing. But even in the midst of this, I call this a beard scene. Like, when your character is metaphorically gay, if people start to catch on, you have to put a metaphoric beard. So they had this character in the thing as a beard to kind of show he's not gay. But even in the beard scene, if you look at the scene, it's the new boyfriend and the old boyfriend being jealous of each other. Like so even in this, they can't help putting a little bit of gay subtext in here. So check this out.
Can you move your seat up? No. I owe you.
So the two of them, that's a little subtext there, that it's the X to the next, and they're just have a little bit of beef with each other. But in the meantime, don't worry, guys. He's a manly man. Here he goes.
The list.
She's looking to the side.
He kind of tried to kill me.
Sorry. I'll put it on the list too.
And if you watch this movie and the movie before she was in, this is totally unearned. This is the most forced thing. These people had like 3 scenes together, and they were all just wooden as hell.
They're gonna come looking for you.
I know.
Thank you, Sherry.
Okay, here we go. Suck it in, guy. You can do it. Okay, here we go. But look at it comes in to kiss her. Look, he's stealing himself to. I gotta kiss a woman. All right, fuck it. Let's just do it.
That was.
Late.
You're right.
They both look so bored. It's like, okay. Yeah, well, okay. I guess I have to go. All right. That was fun. All right. Yeah, and this little fake bro moment. It was so. And I just think it's because it's not the actor's fault. They built no type of relationship or chemistry with these characters because they put all the work into building it up between Captain America and Bucky. So when they just try to force this scene with these characters who had no foundation either in the script or in the real life acting, it was just so bland. It was just a chore. Like, okay, you know, is everyone watching? You know, have I been a good enough beard? Okay, let's just move on. So I just found that I find that really funny. Yeah, Lord of the Rings has a lot of it too. They put a lot of it in there too. And it cracks me up. You know, yeah, and they call it queer baiting. But again, if you are to compare the energy put into that romance, or even the Peggy romance, the woman in the past, they spent like 2 weeks together, and none of it felt, you know, authentic. Supposedly, he gives up his whole life and goes back to the past to be with this woman that they spent 2 weeks together. They didn't even have much of a moment at all. This is supposed to be the love of his life. If you watch those movies and look at his actual scenes with Peggy and how much work they put into building any chemistry between those two, and then again compare it to moments like this, it is just no comparison. It's Brokeback Mountain. I just can't quit you.
You know me. No, I don't.
They're in the, and again, this is the other metaphor. I've said this before. Again, this is what coding is. This is coding for, to me, being in the closet. This is Ben-Hur and his lover. One person wants to rekindle the relationship. The other person has suppressed their childhood gay relationship and has firmly entered the closet and has not allowed himself to access. You know, so the whole Winter Soldier thing, not knowing who you are, is the same as not knowing that you're gay. That's the metaphor. Bucky's in a metaphoric closet. That not knowing who you are has a double meaning. He's not admitting to himself who he is, his sexuality. This scene was put in there to resonate with gay fans on that level. You can't tell me otherwise.
Bucky, you know me your whole life.
Not gay. No.
Your name.
And there's a big phallic symbol in the sky.
Buchanan Barnes.
Not gay. Shut up. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I'm not gonna fight you. You're my friend.
You're my lover. No, you can't make me gay. And this is a I can't quit you, Brokeback Mountain moment.
Finish it.
If you don't love me,
Because I'm with you to the end of the line.
I can't quit you. Fuck, I am gay. Damn it. I'll die rather than fight you. I'll never deny my love. Near, far, wherever you are, I believe that the heart does go on. It's Titanic. Dear, far wherever you are. Yeah, there's even water and sinking and everything. That's not the word. I don't know what the words are. I never watched Titanic. I just know Celine Dion sings a song in it. Yeah, now you know this is a romantic one. Now compare that with anything with Peggy. There's nothing that good with that he's giving up his whole life for her. They put no work in it. They didn't put any work with that new girl, except for that stupid scene where they're both clearly uncomfortable. So it was like I don't like the Tumblr people either. But you know, sometimes they're not always imagining things. You know, I do think that they're kind of naive and take it too far when they think that Marvel's going to pull a trigger on any of this. They backpedaled away from it so fast in the last two Avengers movie. They wouldn't even put them in the same room together for more than like 10 seconds. You know, yeah. Yeah, but I just had to troll a little bit because it got people so mad last time. I wanted to return to it, but I mean, this type of coding I think happens all over in movies, all the time anyway. And I don't know if I made a more convincing case this time, or if people are just gonna get mad at me all over again. Yeah, but I just thought it was a funny episode to do this tonight, and I promise it's the last I'll ever talk about it. I'll never talk about it. I'll never talk about it again. The only reason I even talked about it this time was because I just can't believe people got this upset about it. Like you know, it's just a theory that you don't have to agree with it. I could be wrong. You know, I could be. All I can do is make a case. You know, that's all. Kobe Coffee says, "You call this romantic?" Well, I'll say it's more romantic than anything that happened with the Peggy lady or her granddaughter or niece or whoever that other girl is, you know, the beard, you know. So oh yeah, the filming is really basic. You know, like too, like when it's falling off the helicarrier, there's like a big phallic symbol in the sky exploding. You know, that helicarrier is just behind them in the background, just erupting. That's a great. But like I said, it's even in the director's own words. The actors play coy with it. They know it's Ben-Hur all over again. It's definitely Brokeback Mountain. That line, you know, I'm with you to the end of the line. Come on. So anyway, everybody have a good night. By all means, support us at Venmo or Cash App at Champagne Sharks, PayPal, Champagne Sharks at gmail.com, and become a patron, patreon.com/Champagne Sharks, or hit the super chat. You know, if we made you laugh, if we made you think, if we even if we got you upset, you know, that's something. You know, as long as you're entertained and your thoughts are provoked, we're happy. And yeah, of course, comment, like, share, subscribe. Definitely send us to your friends and family, whatever, and let them know, you know, that we out here, you know, in these YouTube streets, in these Twitch streets. And yeah, it's basically it. Everybody have a good night. Love all y'all. Take care.